Hey guys, it's Stephanie with Simarchy, and welcome to the speed build of the Plumbob Palace. Now, I am super proud of this build because, well, first of all, I was going to say, if you know already, but if you're new, hello and welcome to the channel, and if you're a longtime subscriber, you may already know that I have been practicing building lately, and along with practicing, I've been looking at a lot of images that I find either on like Google or this app that I use, and replicating the houses I see just to learn how to build more, especially when it comes to modern houses, because I've just I don't know, I mostly build traditional, so now that I want to do more stuff with modern, I need to really learn the shapes and how to format things and I don't know, just how to build really, which sounds weird because I've been building for a while, but yeah, I'm not as good as I would like to be, but with this particular build, this all came from my head, so I guess the replicating photos I've been seeing has been helping because I was able to do some cool stuff with this that I would never have been able to think of on my own like a year ago. There's no way I would have been able to, so I'm really, really proud of this one. Now, it is, of course, called the Plumbob Palace, and you will see why, and I actually didn't come up with the name or the Plumbobs till I think after I was done building the entire shell. I hadn't planned on putting them there, but then I had a few extra spots on the roof that were just kind of blank, and I figured it would be a great place to put something, and when I was going through and looking at different lights and stuff, I saw the Plumbobs and thought they would be perfect. Now, not everyone has them. I think the way that you get those lights is if you had certain packs or all the packs registered already in the Sims 3 on the same origin account that you started Sims 4 on. So for me, luckily I did, and that's why I was able to have them all. But if you don't have them, then when you download this, obviously the Plumbobs won't be there, but it's still a cool build, so hopefully you'll still like it. And I didn't limit or restrict any of the packs that I use, so it just kind of includes a little bit of everything. So yeah, I guess I'll talk about the build a little bit. I don't really have much else to talk about. I mean, maybe I do. You guys know how these voiceovers go. I just start talking, whatever comes out, comes out. But I guess while we're doing the shell, I can at least talk about something else, because it's just going to be like, and then I placed a column, and then I placed another column, or a fence. Actually, those are fences that I'm using up here, just to add a little bit of extra dimension. And I saw something similar in my friend's video, Mr. Olkan, in his penthouse, so I will link his channel below. He's a great builder as well. He did something similar with the fencing. I also saw that technique used in The Sims 3 a few times, and I was like, what is this? And I realized it was fencing made to look like, I don't know, wire? I have metal beams? No idea, but I thought they were a cool design element, so that's where that came from. Oh, and then I'm building a big atriary, I think it's called. I never remember what it's called. It's like outdoor plants with, I don't even know describe it. You'll see it. There's going to be plants in there. It's like the outside, but it's inside. And yeah, I don't know where I came up with that. I guess there was a Sims 3 house that had that too. I mean, obviously, I've seen that somewhere to have come up with that. But anyways, what can I actually talk about? Let's see. I've mentioned this a few times, how I was kind of not bored with The Sims, but bored with recording videos, just sort of like lacking motivation to do so. But that's definitely back now. I feel like I'm back in full swing. I'm still only going to post like 3, sometimes 4 videos a week plus the live stream. So that hasn't changed. But a few things that I have decided I'm going to do is just kind of bring back some of my old series. I know I put a lot of them on hold because I was so overwhelmed with having to record them every single week. So for example, I had a house hunting series that I did every week. I had a furnish me series I did every week. I did a town tour series I did every week. What else was there? I don't know, but I originally said they were all canceled, they were all gone, like they may or may not come back one day, but I think what I'm going to do going forward, and I know you guys are sick of hearing this because I said I'm going to do whatever I want going forward, but I still need some sort of plan to kind of follow, even if I don't follow it strictly. So Tuesdays will be a speed build like this, and then Thursdays will just be a series. It doesn't necessarily have to be Furnish Me. Sometimes it'll be Furnish Me, where I furnish houses that you guys submit. Sometimes it will be Build Me, where I build houses that you guys ask about or request, and sometimes it'll be house hunting. Now that series I'm doing a little bit differently because it was one of those ones where I had to build 2 houses and make 2 machinimas, sometimes 3 machinimas, and do a lot of editing, and it was just too much work for one video. But I found a new format that works nicely for me, so I'll talk about more about that when I post that next episode. Again, it might be a monthly thing. It might be a bi-monthly thing. It might be every 2-3 months. I don't know. Just no promises. And then I don't even know if I should announce this. Okay, I might bring back town tours, but I'm kind of done with The Sims 3. Maybe not forever, but for now I'm done with The Sims 3. But I kind of want to tour the houses that came with The Sims 4 because I've never used them. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've ever used a pre-built house in The Sims 4. Ever. Not even a starter, I don't think. Like maybe for a second, but I always build my own houses. So there's not that many. I think I counted and there was only like 13 houses in each town, which is so weird because in Sims 3 there was 30 or more in a lot of the towns. So I think I could tour all the houses that came with Sims 4 at some point. I shouldn't have announced that in case I don't do it, but I might do it. I mean, do you guys want to see that? Let me know. And then, so furnish me, build me, house hunting, and town tours. That's pretty much what I think I'm going to do. Or I might interchange furnish me and build me, like 1 month do furnish me, 1 month do build me, because there's another new series. I know. I feel like one of those YouTubers I used to get so annoyed at because they would start a series and then cancel it and start a build and never finish it. And I would be like, why? Pet peeve, cringe, why? And now as a YouTuber, I totally understand why. I get it. I completely get it. Sometimes you just don't feel like doing something that you started and you shouldn't be forced to. But with that being said, I still have those creative juices flowing sometimes. And I came up with a really cool series idea. And I'll talk about it because I said I was going to talk about it when I did the first video, but I'm so excited to talk about it. And this is going to be a long video. We got 20 more minutes here before we even kick into the tour, which there will be a machinima tour at the end. But this, okay, it's going to be called Design Rewind, okay? And the premise, I think I got from a TV show at some point, maybe Design on a Dime, maybe another show. I spent like a while trying to find this TV show, a home and garden type show or something like that, and I couldn't find it, but I know, and it might have been Design on a Dime, I know there was some show that I saw where they basically come into the house and they redesign it, they remodel it, they repurpose things that are already in the house. So I thought it was a cool concept because they would go, most people have extra stuff in the attic or the garage or the basement or, lying around in boxes that they don't necessarily utilize. And part of the show was to go and find those things and make them look cool again, either by adding a new coat of paint or just positioning it differently or pulling it out of the closet or whatever the deal was. And then I don't know if this was the same show. Like I said, in my head, I used to watch so many of the design shows. They also had like $1,000 to add new stuff. So if they wanted to add like paint or get a couple extra furnishings or a new bed frame or something, they would do that. So I'm turning that into a Sim series, and it is, like I said, going to be called Design Rewind. And it's probably going to be houses that you guys submit. So let me work out all of the details and do the first episode using one of my own houses, probably just to like show the concept and explain everything properly. And then you can start submitting houses for those too. It'll still be #Simarchy. Basically, you could submit whatever you want to the gallery with #Simarchy, whether it's a family looking for a house or a house that needs to be toured or a house that needs to be furnished or whatever the case may be, with the understanding that I may or may not get to it. I hate to say that. I hate to do that, but I overbooked myself. But if you want to submit a house for that series, go ahead. Just make sure to put in the description what it's for. So the rules will be, and I'm still playing around with this, that I have to use only the items that came with the house. I can recolor them. I can move them around. I can repurpose them. But then if I want anything additional besides like wallpaper and flooring, because I think I'll give myself freedom to do sort of whatever wallpaper and flooring I want without a budget. But then I'll have an additional 1,000 simoleons just to add a couple things here and there. Now, that's not a lot of money when it comes to The Sims, so maybe I'll up that budget to like 5,000, but that kind of seems like a lot because I've done a $10,000 home where like the whole house was $10,000. That was created, I want to say it was created by Thomas TV. I will double check that and I will link that video in the description. But if I could build a whole house with 10,000, then I think 5,000 just for furnishings is a bit frivolous. I don't know. We'll play around with that number. Maybe I'll give myself like a 2,000 simoleon budget. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that would just be to add like a few extra decor items or furnishings here and there. But I think that's a cool series. And my friend Dylan, shout out to Dylan, helped me kind of fine tune it and help me come up with the name and stuff. And I know I'm talking about adding a bunch of links to the description, but I'll link his channel too because he's a good friend and he's got an awesome Sims channel. But anyways, right now I am working on the fencing in this house and the outdoor landscaping. And this corner drove me crazy because the columns snap to the grid. You can't freely move them inside a little bit or outside a little bit or to the left or to the right. They're there, and for whatever reason they hang off the side or they don't quite match up with the roof. I know I'm doing a lot of moving and hand things, but I'm hyper today, as usual. Not as usual. I haven't been for the past couple months, but last couple videos, yes, hyper Stephanie, lots of hands. But yeah, those columns drove me nuts. So I was like, what am I going to do? I guess I will. Why am I doing this? Wee! Wee! Okay, I'm going to stop now. The columns, I had to cover them up. So I upsized some of the bushes. I finally figured it out. Still not perfect, but it's better than nothing. And since this is the Plumbob palace, we need lots of lights, right? I mean, the whole build is kind of like white and blue, so I wanted to put lots of bright lights all around the property, which you will. Oh my gosh, I didn't tour it at night at all. Ooh, fail. It's kind of too late to go back and do that now, but the screenshot that you saw for the thumbnail, you saw it at night. So it definitely looks cool at night. You'll see a few flashes of it at night throughout the build just because, like, in build mode, sometimes I go into night mode just to check it out and see how it looks. So yeah, this place definitely looks cooler in the dark. Definitely looks cooler in the dark. And then when I do modern houses, I tend not to do like a whole lot of landscaping. So I thought in the backyard I would make the necessities part of the landscaping. So I just fenced in the mailbox and the trash can because I didn't want them in the front of the house. And then I fenced in a little bench just because I like that symmetry. And then I put like the little stones in between. There's the Plumbob. See, it finally was like, wow, like those would sit so nicely in those corners there. And I'm glad I thought to do it. And then even after I did it, I'm swaying again. Sit still, Stephanie, sit still. There, you got a glimpse of it at night. Even after I put the Plumbobs, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't think they look quite right. And I debated deleting them, and I'm glad I didn't because, come on, it's the Plumbob palace now. It works. So that little flippy thing that I did as a transition there shows where I picked up again because I built the shell at home, which I usually record at my store, but sometimes I get inspired at home. And then I picked up the furnishing while I was at work, which I'm allowed to do because I own my own business, not yell at me. So yeah, that was just to signify that this was like a second day pretty much. There was no way I could have done this all in one day. I mean, maybe if I was super motivated, I could have, but yeah, I don't know. I like to, especially with a really big build or something I'm super inspired about, I like to just give it a little bit of a break in between. So I'll do as much as I can do or as much as I feel like doing, and then I'll sleep on it and come back to it the next day because there's been so many times, like especially when I do collabs with my friends, that I'm in such a hurry to upload it to the gallery and I'm like, hey, it's done. And then I go to bed and then most of my creativity comes to me in the middle of the night or when I'm trying to fall asleep, of course. So I'm just like, thinking of all these other ideas like, oh, I should have done this instead of that, and I should have added this, and oh my gosh, how did I forget this? So I want to give myself time to sleep on it sometimes because I will just think of other cool things that I can add or things that I forgot or sometimes even things I want to take away. So giving myself that little bit of extra time helps with that. And I'm glad, like I said, because I almost got rid of those Plumbobs, I'm glad I gave it that extra day to kind of think about it because then I left them. And these little things are called warmers or something. I always look for them. I can never find them, but I finally figured out, I think if you type the word warmer or warm or something, it comes up. So there you go. They're just really cute. I also use them in my seafood restaurant challenge by Simarchy, so that was kind of fun. I think that's the first time I actually found them and used them, and I really like them. And oh, one thing I should mention, those little tables that I used on either side of the grill, like this one, the same table here, for some reason, things like that, like the drink, don't snap to it. So you have to use the move objects and Control 9 or just the 9 key to move it up on top. But if it's not already in a room or indoors and it's just like outside on the grass or something, when someone else downloads the house from the gallery, even if they have move objects on, it falls to the floor. And I only recently discovered the reason it does that is because the game doesn't consider it part of a room. And I don't know why, but in order for that cheat to stick, like in order for those items to stay where you put them when someone else downloads it, the game has to consider it a room. I think it was okay this time because even though this is technically outdoors, it's built in a room shape, and you can tell it's a room obviously by just like clicking on the structure, and if it highlights the whole thing, then it counts it as a room. And I found that out from a YouTuber named Jules. I've been talking about her a lot because I think she's amazing. She doesn't make videos anymore as far as I can tell. It's been like almost a year since she's uploaded her last video, but she did explain that. And so there is a way to fix it. You could basically make a room one tile. There's a way to do that, but then you have like a weird tile sitting in the middle of the grass. If you want to do that move objects trick and have it, translate when someone else downloads it, there's ways to cover it with like flowers and things like that. So maybe I'll do a tutorial, or I'll do like something more in depth about that in another video. But I just really am glad that I figured out why it does that, because that, again, huge pet peeve of mine, trying to figure out why it was doing that. Like, I was racking my brain. I'm like, I have move objects on. Why is the item falling? Like, why isn't it staying where I placed it? And now I finally know, and now you know too. So I am working on the kitchen now. I don't know why. Like, when I get hyper and do these videos, I just talk so fast and I get so excited and I start to lose my breath, and I don't know, but there's only a few minutes left, so I'm gonna suck it up and just get through this. So if I sound a little bit out of breath, that's why. But again, I'm just so happy to have my motivation back. So happy to have my motivation back. I love this game so much, and I was actually really sad about it. That month or two where I was just like, I'm tired of making videos, sucked, because I still want to make them. I just didn't feel like making them. And I don't know if that makes sense. Like, if you guys have like a hobby that you do, or, even your job sometimes, like it happens with me at work. Sometimes I love what I do and I can't imagine doing anything else. And then some days I get so bored and sick of it. And I'm like, doing the same thing over and over again. There must be more to life. But that's kind of how I felt with the channel. I loved it. I still love it. I can't imagine ever not having the channel at some capacity or another. But yeah, I did feel like, oh God, I have to record another video. Man, I have to record another video. And it wasn't just like one video here and there, if you guys remember, because it was just a month ago. I was posting 7 videos a week, and that took a toll on me. It really did. I didn't get burnt out by the game. I keep saying that. I love the game. I discover something new every single time. I have this new little obsession where I like turning items into other items, combining them in ways that I never thought before. Like, if anything, I'm more inspired by the game than I ever have been. But yeah, just like having this motivation to record again just makes me overly hyper. So I've got to like kind of rein that back a little bit and be like, Steph, calm down just a bit. Like, you don't want to freak people out. Like, oh my gosh, I just came to watch a speed build and this girl's like jumping around like a little chihuahua or something. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to, whew. But I am happy. Like, it's important to be happy, and I'm very happy, and I'm very happy to be recording. And oh my gosh, this dining room is probably one of my favorite rooms I think I've built ever, and it's because I use this combination of the turquoise and the purple. And my favorite color is rainbow. Before anyone says rainbow is not a color, it is my favorite color. Rainbow is a color. Do not tell me otherwise. But I'm also super fond of color combos, just like 2 colors that look really good together. And one of my favorites is hot pink and neon green, or pastel pink and mint green. I think they look beautiful together. But I totally forgot about this turquoise and purple combo. I probably should use that a lot more. In fact, my first tattoo, which is a seahorse, which you can't see because it's on my back shoulder, is turquoise and purple. It's always been one of my favorite color combos. So, yeah, just I don't know, and adding the black and the white just makes it so pretty. Sometimes adding a beautiful dark blue in there looks really nice as well. But definitely, I've been playing more with colors lately. I like to think that I always use a lot of colors, but I've noticed some of my builds have been more bland, especially when it comes to the super traditional or the super modern. Like, either end, I feel like I have this sort of preconceived, sorry, thought I heard someone knocking, preconceived notion of what the stuff should look like. So, for example, in a traditional house, I always think of like dark woods and dark reds and dark greens. But then, you know, you can use pink in a traditional house. You can use purple in a traditional house. So I need to kind of get out of that box a little bit. And then when it comes to stuff like this, that's super, I'm doing the hand thing again. If this is super annoying, tell me. I'll like sit on my hands or something. But I talk with my hands. Maybe it's the Greek in me. Usually that's an Italian thing, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just so hyper. I just gotta do something with my hands. But what was I saying about the color? Oh, with modern, I usually think black, white, or like this really light blue color, which I did do, as you can probably tell, especially at the beginning of the build. I was definitely sticking to that color palette. But then as I got more into it, like the second bedroom, which I don't think we started working on yet, you're going to see more pinks and purples and dark blues and things like that. So that was definitely fun. But yeah, I definitely want to play more with color, and I've been trying to play more with color. And mirrors, I've been trying to play more with mirrors. I know that just ended, that part of the video is over, but I layered like 4 different mirrors on top of each other to come up with a new one. But this is the room where I did like the pinks and the purples and the blues, and it makes me happy. I kind of wish I carried some of this color more throughout the rest of the house, but maybe like the Sims that live here, like whoever designed the house wanted it to be like really sleek and clean lines and modern and just like a very strict color palette. And then the Sim that lives in this room is like, excuse me, no, I want pink and purple and blue and green and yellow and all the colors. I don't know if there's yellow. I'm just naming colors at this point, but this room definitely sticks out a little bit from the rest of the build, but that's okay. There's always like that one family member that kind of like goes off and does their own thing, and not necessarily the black sheep of the family, but there's always that one person that's just like, oh yeah, you like black and white? Oh, I like the rainbows. The rainbows. Oh, I can talk. Oh, and the vanity. I still can't remember exactly where those are located. I have to just type the word vanity to find it. I really wish they were in the same category as storage, because I probably would use them a lot more often if I just remembered that they were there. And since we were kind of talking about a little bit about Sims 3 earlier, I do miss a feature that Sims 3 had where you can sort the items into your own categories. Like I had one just for plants that went on top of tables, and another one just for plants that went on the floor, one just for books, you know, one for bathroom stuff, one for closet stuff. And most of the stuff, I don't want to say most, but a lot of the stuff in Sims 4 that you think will be in a certain category isn't there. For example, the one that puzzles my mind the most is the kitchen one. Like if you go to the kitchen room and you click on the little fruit bowl, I think it is, you would imagine that all the kitchen decor items are in there, but they're not. Like most of them are not in there. Most of them are in decorations and clutter or whatever it's called. But yeah, that bothers me too. So I wish there was a way to make my own categories, and I would put vanities with storage, because I guess they didn't, because you can't actually change your clothes with it. But yeah, I don't know what category that's in anyway. I don't know. All right, well, I think we're getting towards the end of the video here. So I do want to say stick around for that little machinima tour. There will be music playing, and it's kind of pretty, so definitely stick around and watch that. Also, now I'm going to lose my voice while I try to do my outro, right? Also, if you had fun and you want to see more videos, please subscribe, because I post at least 3 times a week and I live stream every Sunday, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!